Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. So today we are just going to cover in its entirety YK11. So I'm going to jump right into it because there's a lot of stuff to go over here and I want to make sure that you fully understand YK11. Now YK11 itself is a known myostatin inhibitor. Alright, it's grouped with SARMs, but it's a myostatin inhibitor. So myostatin inhibitors work by allowing the body to develop or increase muscular capacity at a rate faster than the body is even close to being able to do on its own. YK11 becomes attached to the androgen receptors that are found in the body. Now, androgen receptors are hormones that govern sexual development in men. So, once YK11 has actually attached itself to an androgen receptor, then it sends signals to your muscles. These signals then request more follistatin to be produced. So, what's follistatin? Follistatin is a protein that's responsible for the enlargement of muscle tissue. So at the other end of the scale, the levels of myostatin then reduce. So what happens then? Well, it's going to lead to an improved rate of speed of muscle growth. Now, something about YK11 you may not know as well. It's a DHT derivative or dihydrotestosterone. So what does that mean? Well, that's like Anavar, Winstrol, Primabol, and Masteron. These are all DHTs. So this makes it very similar to synthetic anabolic steroids. It has the same structure as all other types of steroidal hormones while possessing the same actions as a SARM. So this is very ideal. Now, in reality, it's actually neither. It would be more similar to a pro-hormone than anything, I guess, but closer to a steroid as well. Now, when it comes to muscle growth, it's extremely popular and it's an effective option that's rapidly becoming one of the most utilized ways of building muscle mass and strength. So let's talk about what you can expect from YK11 in terms of results or benefits. So you can expect to see a dramatic increase in muscle growth. Along with great muscle gains, the amount of time that it's going to take for the muscle growth to occur is reduced. So you're getting it at a more rapid rate. Now, unlike many other anabolic steroids, YK11 does not lead to water retention. That means that any muscle mass growth that anyone is experiencing, it's going to be solid muscle tissue. And it's also going to be known as like dry gains, I guess, so to speak. But that's one of the things I love about it. You guys that know me, that have been following me, know that I stick to all dry compounds. So I love YK11, especially something that's allowing you to get muscle mass like this and stay so dry. Now, that's not the only benefit here, though. So besides that, there's also an increase in the amount of body fat that's burned. Once again, right up my alley. YK11 makes it very difficult for your body to store fat, and that results in a more defined, dry physique. So when you combine this with an increase in muscle mass, obviously more calories are going to be burned, and it's going to turn your body into like a fat-burning machine. The more muscle mass you build, the more lean muscle that you have, the more fat you're going to lose. This is basic stuff here. Now, here's one of the things that doesn't get talked about enough that I certainly love as an endurance athlete. If you use this, you're going to notice a dramatic increase in stamina. So this is going to allow for better reps and improved muscle growth. Now, one of the more surprising effects that it also has is it helps with anti-aging. It helps to mitigate the effects of various chemicals that are found in your body that are going to contribute to hair loss, wrinkles, and body fat deposits. Now, look, it's really neither an anabolic steroid or a SARM, so a lot of the common side effects that you see associated, especially with steroids, aren't going to be experienced here. This makes it, very effective for increasing muscle mass, energy levels, and mood while decreasing body fat and lowering the risk of side effects. It stacks great with anything, okay? Most of the people that run YK11 find it to be pretty side effect free, all right? And that's surprising for as strong as it is. I'm going to get into the side effects with it, but they're not what you would expect. You're only going to get out of it what you put into it. You got to work out hard, you got to train hard, you got to diet right. All right? You're going to notice a really good increase in muscle size, but you got to put the work in. This is not magic in a bottle, nor is anything else that you take. All right, so let's talk about some of the potential side effects here. So it can cause hair growth. Now, for some people, that's like, hey, that ain't a side effect. I want that. But for some people, it can be annoying. I already grow, like my facial hair already grows rapidly. I shave my body all the time. It sucks. So I noticed too, when I took YK11, I was even having to shave more. And it's not just the annoyance of it, it's the freaking cost of the blades that sucks for me, because 2 blades and they're zapped, and I get the very, very high-end Gillette, you know, Pro Shield, whatever, and they're done. They're burnt. So when I'm having to shave even more, it sucks. But it's a big bonus for some of you out there, and I totally get that. I'm Italian, so I got thick, major hair, but some of you don't, and so this may not even be considered a side effect. It could be a great thing. Now, I have to disclose anything that I've ever seen with any compounder. I'm not doing you right. I'm doing you a disservice when I teach you on these videos. YK11 does not convert to estrogen, but some people have said that it has irritated their, them, whether they had pre-existing or it kind of gave them puffier nipples, which makes me question if they even had real YK11 or if they were dosing just extreme amounts, because it doesn't convert to estrogen. But if I see anything, I got to let you know. Now, one of the things that I have seen more so is that mood changes can happen, and it can make you more aggressive. So if you're an overly aggressive person, be careful, and if you notice that happening, lower your dose, okay? Now, it does contain a methyl ester. Methyl esters are known to be toxic to the liver. It's normally not an issue, though, with YK11 for most people unless they're dosing too high. So if if you're more susceptible to like liver damage or elevated ALT and AST values, lower the dose, or run liver care or an all-in-one protectant, whatever, just to be on the safe side. But you should be okay. But other than that, the last thing is it could affect prostate health, and this could lead to sexual dysfunction issues, decreased libido, and obviously prostate issues. But it doesn't anything like a steroid, and it's not something very common, but it is definitely possible, so you got to be aware of that. Now let's talk about dosing. Look, I'm a more is not always better guy, and I'm more conservative than other people. My recommended dosages are always about 10 milligrams for people. Some people do take it up to 20 and do just fine with it. I don't have a major issue with that, but I would say tread water and start with 5 to 10 milligrams and then work your way up. I would split the doses. So let's say you're doing 10 milligrams a day. Do 5 milligrams in the morning, and then 10 to 12 hours later, hit another 5 milligrams. I personally don't recommend going over 20 milligrams. That's up to you, but just be careful with it. Now, as far as women, if you're breastfeeding, avoid it altogether. It's been said to be okay for women. I tend to not really recommend it for women that often, if ever, but if you are a female and you want to run this 2.5 milligrams a day the first 2 weeks and then bump it to 5 milligrams for the rest of the way, nobody should exceed 12 weeks of this, but I would keep it there as a female. Don't go over 5 milligrams. You can do whatever you want. That's what I would keep it with. But other than that, I think you'll be just fine with it. So that, my friends, is the basics of YK11. Stick with that. I really, truly, truly do love YK11, but I also am always telling people to be on guard, do it the right way, and just be careful with everything. You got to get it from a trusted source. You can always email me, whatever, if you need help with that, pefitness@gmail.com. I'm more than happy to help all of you. So, listen, please subscribe to the channel. We want to get this thing back up and popping. So please subscribe and stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.